Yes, hello wonderful people. So welcome to yet another video, my first ever Q&A. I'm trying to do this live and also recording it at the same time. So yeah, let me see how this works. Give me some feedback if this is working for you. So how I imagine this to work, I asked a couple of you to send me some questions. I've noted them down and I'm gonna go through them. And if you have some questions, you can also drop them right now in the comment sections. I see mostly my Instagram is alive. Hello, Fabi. So let's get it started. Okay, yeah. First of all, I'd like to thank you for watching. This Q&A was brought to you by someone who left a comment on my YouTube channel called Nessa. Basically said, no, the African tour is finished. Really enjoyed this series. If you decide to do a Q&A on your experience, my questions are. So yes, Nessa, I have decided to do a Q&A. And to kick it off, I'm going to start with your questions because there were a few. Okay, well, you can read them right here. So question number one. Let me see. Why you chose those countries? So for the people who don't know, I just a few months ago, I made an African trip where I went to visit Tanzania, Zanzibar, South Africa, and Zimbabwe. And so I went to visit and toured around and took some videos and posted them on YouTube. You can see the link right here for the playlist. So question of Nessa was why I chose those countries. Well, it was very simple. I've always wanted to do like an East African tour where I can visit all the countries in East Africa, like next to Rwanda, so Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, and Burundi. But this time, a friend of mine who I've known for a very, very long time was getting married to a Tanzanian guy. And she invited me to her wedding. So I saw that this was a great opportunity to go there and explore. So that's how we ended up in Tanzania. It was a very nice wedding. We enjoyed. We toured around. We got to know some Tanzanian people, and the culture was really, really nice. And Zanzibar, I went there. You know, to be honest, it was not my idea. I just joined the group, so I guess it was kind of group pressure. The people they were with, friends also, they decided to go to Zanzibar to go chill there, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I personally always thought that Zanzibar was for couples, people going on a honeymoon or something. But yeah, it was really nice. And South Africa was also through a friend, Berthe, who's a travel freak. She loves to travel, and she was like, yeah, let's go to South Africa, and I was like, okay, sure, no problem. And Zimbabwe, we went there because Yvette, the one I was traveling with as well, she grew up there. So because it was so close, we were like, yeah, why not go there too? And I was like, yeah, why not join? So that's how I chose those countries. Okay, the next question was, your favorite thing about each country you visited? That's a good one. Tanzania, in short, I love the heat. It was really, really warm. Basically, you have to close the you have to close your windows and the car doors just to keep the heat outside. So when you were like driving for a while, when you get out, you get hit by this heat. Me, I like it. I like the hotness. Some people didn't, but I do. And and the Bajaj was kind of like this three-wheeler. I love those. I love the experience. All right, we're in a 2-2. 3. Stop. I'm almost falling out, but it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, it's nice and cozy. Let me see. South Africa, there was a lot. We stayed there the longest and we did the most over there. But in short, I like the nature. South Africa is like a big nature scene, and the views, mountains. It's like big. I love the Uber. The Uber is great. You pay like 3 to 4 euros basically to drive everywhere in Cape Town, and when we're like 3 people, and it was so convenient, so nice. And yeah, also just like the development of South Africa in general, because I've been to some African countries, and South Africa is by far the most developed African country I've seen so far. Zimbabwe, I definitely love the food and the people. Like I said in my video, the people have something, they have a similar vibe like Rwandans, so I felt right at home right there. And let me see, the last question was, what budget should someone looking to travel within the continent consider? Well, it depends basically on two things, like yeah, your plane ticket, of course, it differs per person, and also how fancy do you want to get, because yeah, you can live a very luxurious life in Africa basically for prices that here are considered normal, but you can also, there's always ways to get cheaper. So yeah, it's really hard to put like a good estimate on how much money you should bring, but let's say life in Zanzibar is not expensive. So basically, if you have your tickets, the rest is pretty cheap. Even in Tanzania, the travels and the food, they were very well doable. South Africa was a bit more expensive. It's basically like Europe, so you know, take that into consideration. And Zimbabwe, yeah, like for example, for our stay in South Africa, we paid about $60 or $70 a night for our stay in the Airbnb, and in Zimbabwe it was also around 50 or 60, so almost the same price, but the quality in South Africa was much higher. The house was much more luxurious and everything. So yeah, I would definitely, if I were to guess, to give you like a number, definitely prepare like at least €1,000 ish that you are willing to travel with if you want to do all those countries at the same time. All right. Question from Berthe. What did you like about South Africa? Well, yeah, I liked a lot, but I like the history actually of South Africa, because it intrigued me, and the development of South Africa. It was very fascinating to see. Question from Yvette. As an African man faced with African men, how was your experience traveling with two black women who were raised with the European mentality? Well, that's a funny question, but a good question. I would say I'm also like a black man who has some kind of European mentality, but I understand where she's coming from this travel. Maybe I was the one who had been to Africa the most recently, and who has also stayed the longest, I think. Yeah, it was so funny, because when I was traveling with Rita and Berthe in South Africa, for example, there are certain things that to me they don't shock me anymore, but when for them it shocked them. Like for instance, everywhere we'll go, we'll talk to some people and we'll ask, like, how is your work? How's your work week? How does it look like? And almost everyone would say, yeah, I work here like 7 days a week and like 8 or 9 hours a day. And it was like, I could see it in their eyes. They were so shocked. It was like, and they could not fathom, because basically, some of us were there on like paid vacation, which is unheard of over there. So it was, yeah, they had to fathom that how that was possible. But in my eyes, because I've been in Rwanda for a long time, I've known people who want to work but basically cannot get any work. They can't find anything, so they would be happy to find some kind of job, some kind of income, but they don't have it there. So it does not shock me that much, but it was kind of funny to see them being shocked, being exposed to it for the first time. It's reality. Unfortunately, it is happening, and when you see it in front of your eyes, yes, it kind of opens your eyes up. Next question from let me see, Assumpta. Oh, let me check real quick because I have my Facebook also going on. It's quiet. Oh, hi, Helta. I see Helta online. If you have any questions, drop them right now. Can I answer them still? I still have some left here. Okay, a question from Assumpta. After or during your African tour, what have you learned or discovered about yourself that you didn't know before? Good question. Yeah, basically, what I've learned about myself, I always thought that I like to work and travel at the same time, you know, or to have fun and work at the same time, basically, because it's, yeah, I like to be busy, basically, everywhere I am. I like to be doing stuff. But when I was traveling here, I realized once I came to some places that I've never known before, and they were like really intriguing me. Most of the time, I forgot to take my camera with me, or to put it, or to record, and because I was so into the moment. And that caught me by surprise, because I was there with my camera ready to record. You know, I put on mindset like, okay, I'm going to document everything. But like, for example, when we went to visit the prison where Nelson Mandela stayed for many years, it was so fascinating, and the tour guide was so informative. It was so heartbreaking. It really touched me. And most of the time, really, I had to remember, like, oh my God, I forgot to record. Oh my God. And
we'll visit the limestone quarry. That is where Mr. Mandela and other prisoners labored. And then the last stop for the first part is the house of Robert Sobukwe. And I'll tell you more about him when we get there. For the second part of your visit is the visit to the maximum prison. You'll meet an ex-political prisoner, someone who spent some time in this prison.
Yeah, I guess apparently I cannot always work and enjoy my life at the same time. So if I would go there for a second time, I would do a much better job at recording it. Okay, I got here some random questions from Marina. I'll go through them real quick. What are 3 interesting facts about you? Interesting. Well, I can be shy sometimes. I love to dance, and I don't drink beer or watch football like most males, I guess. Who inspires you? Nelson Mandela. I don't know if you can see him. I have a poster of him right here. Yeah, my father inspired me, and yeah, Gary Vaynerchuk. Yeah. When do you truly feel alive? When I'm in the gym, about to kill a workout. Yeah. What's something you've been meaning to try, but just haven't gotten around to do it? To start my own business, definitely. What is something you think everyone should do at least once in their lives? That's an interesting one. I would say do something nice for like 3 people, but like really, really nice. And don't explain and don't ask for something in return. Just everyone should do that at least once. If all jobs had the same pay and hours, what job would you like to have? I think I would like to be a medical doctor. Let me see. What's the best and the worst piece of advice you've ever received? The best I have received is the longest road. Yeah, what was it again? Yeah. The longest road between point A and point B is through a shortcut. It's by Art Napolitano, I believe. And the worst advice I've received is act normal and you'll be crazy enough. Okay? For the Dutchies, you understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, okay. Looks like these are the questions. Oh, and the last question from Patrick from Instagram. Why are you doing CrossFit now? Good question, Patrick. Well, to be honest, the reason I'm doing it now, one of my biggest dreams is to have my own like health center, like a big health center, health city-ish thing. And so, but basically that's gonna start like maybe with my own gym, and I would love to be able to offer CrossFit also at this gym. and also I live by the motto of challenge thyself. So I didn't know CrossFit that much before, but now that I got to know it, it's quite challenging. It's difficult, and I like challenges. I like to challenge myself, you know. And also it is kind of yeah. It's, to me, CrossFit is like the Tesla of automobiles. You know, it is kind of new. It's disruptive, and yeah. So far, it's nice. It's a nice challenge. All right. I think that was the Q&A for today. Yeah. Well, if you have any other questions, don't be shy to drop them in the comment sections, and I'll answer them directly, or maybe in the next Q&A. Okay. Thank you all for watching, and if you're watching this video on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.